We are live and welcome to Inner Harbor Waves, everybody, and 92.1 The Wolf, the Inner Harbor Waves cast. Skip Clark, your program, I was eating, so that's why I'm like a mess right here. Yeah, 92.1 The Wolf, a part of the Inner Harbor Media Group here in the Q's. And I've got a guy on that actually, I'm really digging the music. His name's Ryan Larkins. He's new, but not really new. Ryan, how are you?
Man, I am doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm trying to count the magnets on your refrigerator in the back.
There are too many to count. There really are. I'm trying to keep track of like everywhere I've been. And so I get a magnet kind of everywhere I go. And it's
What
been
a cool
fun.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of,
That's
it's a nice reminder, when I walk by the refrigerator, see where all I've been. And
and
it's
places
fun.
maybe it's like, well, okay. Yeah, we still went there. But it's all
Sure.
good. Can't wait to get you up here in the Northeast. Can't wait to say hello. I know we'll probably say hello in February when the country radio seminar rolls around. But
Yes, sir.
if somebody was to come up to you and ask, who is Ryan Larkins, what would you tell them?
I think first of all, I'm a family man. I think that's the best way to describe me. But I'm a storyteller. I'm a modern day storyteller. I love like Don Williams, Randy Travis, and I want to bring that classic country sound back. And I feel like there's kind of a lane wide open for me right now. And I think that's a good way to describe me. Storyteller.
Yeah, I love that. Now you've got the king of country music. And
Yes, sir.
that song is getting played here in the Q's on the Wolf, by the way. And
Thank you.
it's so cool. And I know you were on with our morning show, Big D and Bubba. I think it was last week. You stopped in the studio there. So
Yes, sir. That was so much fun. I loved
they're
it.
seasoned. They're seasoned pros, I
They
guess.
really are. They really are.
I don't know. I don't want to. I guess seasoned would be the right word because they've been doing it a long time. So,
That's probably good. That's a good way to put it.
yeah. Now, where are you? Are you in Nashville?
I'm right outside of Nashville. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Kingston Springs. That's where
All
I
right.
live. And I love Nashville, but I also love kind of being a little bit away from it, close enough. But, I like to kind of take that hat off when I come home of like being a songwriter, being an artist, and I kind of put on that, husband, father hat. And I got a little bit of time to do that, being out here.
Yeah. You said
So.
husband. Tell us a little bit about your family.
I've been married to my wife for 15 years, and she is just,
Did you get married
she's,
when you were 5?
I did actually when I was 5. No, I
Wow.
was young. I
Okay.
was young though. I was young, and she supported me
Mhm.
the whole way. And like, there have been moments when I felt like, oh, there's no way this is going to happen. And she has just encouraged me. Like even one time I was working this job that I couldn't stand. And she told me one day, she was like, Ryan, you're not doing what God put you on this earth to do. I want you to quit your job. We're going to take a step of faith and the
Mhm.
right door is going to open for you. And it's crazy. Her support has meant so much to me. And, I've got 3 kids. One's 11, one's 9, and
Oh,
we've got a 7-year-old too. Yeah, it's wild around here. It's
I bet it
wild.
is, especially this time of the year as we approach the
Oh man,
holidays. So,
you have no idea. It is crazy. It's a little bit of chaos, but it's fun. It's good chaos. Everybody's so
yes.
excited about Santa
Mhm.
coming to town, and we're doing like the elf on the shelf and all that good stuff.
What does the elf have a name?
We've got Jingle, and then we also have Snoop on the Stoop, which is Snoop Dogg. Yeah, we have that, and so that is a lot of fun. And he actually goes with me. I try to bring him along with me, and I get pictures of like all the different places I've been,
Mhm.
and that's been fun. I've got a video just recently. We went to like this Spring Hill Suite, and Snoop was with me. We pulled up, and there was this huge Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, and it
Oh
was like the perfect scenario. So we got a little video of that, but
my God,
it's fun.
that's
It's so
awesome.
much fun, man.
Do you post those up on your social media?
Yes, sir. I try to do that. Try
Okay.
to do that, and got some more videos coming. So
Where can we find those?
if you like Instagram, it's Ryan.Larkins, which I'm trying to
Okay.
do more there, but TikTok, I'm on there, Facebook, and you can just go to the website. That's the best way, RyanLarkins.com. I've got
There you go.
all the
All
links
the links.
there. So, yes, sir. Yes,
So tell us
sir.
about the king of country music. It's your first effort as a singer, putting a single out to radio. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yes, sir. So that song, that's probably my favorite song I've ever written.
Mhm.
And I'm such a huge fan of classic country music. And one day I was just like driving around Nashville, listening to like Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Dolly Parton, George Strait, all the good stuff, you
Mhm.
know. And I had my kids in the back seat, and my oldest son, he asked me, he's like, Dad, who's the greatest country singer of all time? Who's the king of country music? And it was so hard to pick. I was like, man, you stumped me. You know, there are so many great ones.
Mhm.
And I just remember I was sitting at a red light on Charlotte Avenue, and it just kind of hit me out of nowhere. Like, I know exactly who the king of country music is. Wrote this song about it, and I can't believe it's my first single at country radio, and it seems like people are just loving it so far, and I couldn't
Oh
be
yeah.
more thankful. I'm so thrilled. I'm so
It
thrilled.
in the biz, I can see that it's what we say researching very well.
Oh,
So
good. That's good to
yeah,
know.
that
Yes,
is really
sir.
good to know. And I don't know if you know this or not because you have somebody else that does your schedule, but I believe we have a show set up for you in January.
Come on. I cannot wait. That's going to be so much fun.
It'll be a
It's gonna,
ball, and I would just say if you're coming to the Cuse in January, you got your parka, you got your gloves, bring your whatever you wear on your feet because chances are we could have a little bit of snow or a whole lot of
okay.
snow. So just
Okay. I'll pack my long johns.
so you're gonna need them. Um,
Yeah.
well, maybe like today, for example, here it is. What is it? The 15th of December. Christmas is 10 days away. We're in the 50s. This is
Okay.
this is very unheard of for the Northeast up here in upstate New York. So,
That is wild. That's like
yeah.
I'm looking to see. We're 51 here, so
Oh, well, it's about the
that's
same.
pretty
Yeah.
similar. That's
Not a
crazy.
cloud in the sky, which is
It's
cool.
beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful here too. I
Did
love
you
it
not
when it's
watch
sunny.
the meteor shower at night? Have you been keeping an eye on that?
You know, I haven't. I need to do that, but maybe I'll look into that for sure. For sure. Now that I'm home.
So, has anybody ever really told you that you got the voice to be a traditional country artist? You've got that growl to your voice, and when it comes out in the king of country music, I mean, it fits. Everything goes together so well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've had a few people, especially like when I'm playing live, people come up after the show and they'll compare me to like the old classic
Mhm.
voices, and that's always like the biggest compliment to me. Like I want to be that guy to carry the torch, you know, for those classic country voices, those songs.
Yeah.
I want to sing the best possible song that I can sing, and I want to sing it as well as I can. And it's a big compliment to be compared to some of the classic country
What
artists.
what are well, first of all, I guess that is a compliment. But then again, you want to be yourself too. You need to be unique in your own way, but still have
That's
that connection. Um, but what are some of the like the classics that you sing when you're out there on stage?
I love like Silver Wings,
Right.
Ring of Fire, Three
Like,
Wooden Crosses, all the
oh my,
those classics. I love Troubadour by George Strait too. That's one of my favorite songs, and
he's the king, man.
he really is. You
There you
you are
go.
right about that, though. It's hard to argue that.
Yeah. So, are we working on an EP, an album? What are we doing here?
So I have an EP that's available now, 5 songs. It's
Mhm.
called Meet Ryan Larkins, and you can get that everywhere, you stream or listen to music. And then I'm going back in the studio this in the new year in 2024, going to record some more songs. And Jay DeMarcus, he's been
I was
producing me. Man, what a guy. I mean,
so
he's
so what is that like, Ryan? I mean, do you feel intimidated because it's Jay DeMarcus? We all know Jay from Flats, and Jay was always, they're all great, but just now he's, they're doing their own thing, and he's got the record label which you're signed to, and then he actually puts his hands on it, being a musician. But do you feel intimidated by that at all, or do you get like a little like, oh my god, okay, I got to make sure this is perfect?
At first, I was very intimidated and almost starstruck. It sounds silly, but I've been
Mhm.
a
No,
fan of them for so long, and
yeah.
then like once you get to know Jay, you realize like he is such a great guy,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
he's such a team player. He's always like, he wants me to be the best that I possibly can be. And watching him work in the studio has been just one of the highlights of my career so far. I mean, he is such a pro. You can tell he's done it so much. And
Mhm.
like he gets the most out of these musicians. And he's kind of making this classic country sound
Mhm.
new and fresh, and he's helping me, find that. And I feel like we really found that with these 5 songs, and I think it's just going to keep getting better, with this next batch of songs we go in and record.
See, I don't know if there's anything better, probably not, than having somebody as maybe your boss, but also the owner of the label who is a musician, who is, he knows the business side of it. He knows the recording side of it. He's got his hands on all of it, as opposed to some of the others. I'm not knocking anybody, but I'm just saying it's like, all right, it's more of a corporate environment and you come in, I don't know, punch in and you sing your song and then you punch out and go home. But here he's actually sitting with you and crafting your product.
No, that is so true. And I have gone into the studio before, even to make demos of songs, once they're written, but like even recording the vocal, he gave me like specific instructions, and he was like, "Hey, that was really really great, but I think we can do better." And he did it in a way that wasn't like it wasn't intimidating. It wasn't
Right,
like, "Oh,
right,
the
right.
pressure's on." It's just like, "Hey, let's just try it again." And he's just got a good way of doing that, and it's been so much
Do
fun.
you
It
guys
really has.
just kind of say, "Hey, let's get out of here. Let's go have a cold one. Let's go talk." You had that
We've
opportunity?
we'll go eat lunch. He's a foodie, so we've hit up quite a few great restaurants in town, and
Uh,
just picking his brain on like all the different areas of the music business. I mean, it's been so fun doing that, and just getting to know him, as a person too. I mean, it's been a blast. It
yeah,
really
you're on a ride,
has.
man. You're on a ride. Hold on, because it's getting great. This ride
Thank you
is
so
no
much.
faster, too. How exciting! Now, it must be so important. You mentioned this earlier. The support from your wife and your 3 kids. I mean, that's got to play a big role in what you do as a songwriter and as an artist.
It plays a huge role. I mean, some of the stories that I want to sing about
Mhm.
I want to sing about real life. So a lot of these songs are just coming from real life stories, and it's tough out there. It really is. We're out there on radio tour. I've been out on radio tour since
Mhm. Mhm.
September, and just knowing that my wife is at home, holding the fort down, and just there are basketball practices. All 3 kids have other things going on, and I mean, she's done such a great job, and she's not one of those wives that is just calling all the time, want me to check in. Like, she's like, "Hey, we've been married 15 years.
Uh-huh.
We've worked so hard for this, and I want you to just go out there, do your best." And she's just so proud of me and my kids. Just they'll come home from school some days, and they're like, "Oh, so and so was talking about you, heard you on the radio or whatever." And it's just
Of
it's such a cool experience. It
Yeah.
really is. And I've lived a little bit of life. I'm not as young as some artists, and I feel like that's special because it means that much more to me. I've
Yes.
worked so many odd jobs, and it's been a dream of mine since I was 12 years old to be able to do this. And now, just getting the opportunity, I'm trying to just soak up every opportunity I get, and like, I'm
Absolutely.
seeing the country kind of for the first time, and I'm
Mhm.
trying to take all the pictures I can, and it's just wild, man. It's a
It's
wild
a wild
ride.
ride. Exactly right. If you weren't doing well, first of all, you're from Nashville. You grew up there, right? I mean, this is
That's
your
right.
home. So you
No, that's
probably
right.
know Nashville better than anybody.
I feel like I do, but oddly enough, man, I was like, my dad growing up was a Pentecostal pastor. So
Okay.
like, I've been so close to country music my whole life,
Mhm.
but it
Mhm.
was really, really strict around my house. Like, we didn't listen to country music. We listened to gospel music only. And I grew up kind of singing in church.
Mhm.
And I remember I was like 21 years old before I really even got into country music. A friend of mine from church, he was like, "Man, there's this new show. It's called Can You Do It? And we could learn a couple country songs, and we'll be, the next Brooks and Dunn." And I was like, man, that's awesome. But like, who's Brooks and Dunn? I had no idea, And but yeah, I feel like, being close to Nashville, I've been around the city and I've seen it change so
Yeah.
much.
Oh,
Like
I bet.
even downtown, cranes everywhere. But
Very cool.
it's but it's still Music City, and you got the Ryman down there. There's so many great places to watch live music.
Do you get out and walk Broadway at all? Broadway being the main, if somebody's watching this and not really familiar with Nashville, Broadway is like where all the action is. And
That's
it's
right.
crazy. There's music
It's
every establishment as you walk down the road.
It's absolutely crazy. I try not to, but the other day I did, and
Don't
it
blame me.
is, it's just wild. It's
Yeah.
wild. So I went down there, and like every bar is playing a different song. And so you'll be like hearing something on this side, you'll hear another song on the other side. And there are a ton of people. It's growing so much. But like the Bluebird is more
Mm.
my speed. I love that place. I love the listening room, and I like the songwriters. So
Yeah,
I love hearing the stories behind the songs, and
exactly.
that's kind of more my speed.
When was the last time you played the Bluebird?
I think I played this year, maybe like August,
Yeah.
somewhere around there,
Now,
and
is that intimidating?
it is every single time I get nervous.
Mhm.
I really, really do. It's getting easier, but I mean, you sit down in that place and you feel the weight of it. You feel like, okay, like all these great songwriters have been through here. There's a chair that says Taylor Swift on the back of it. And I remember I saw when I was first wanting to do this thing, I went there and I got to see Don Schlitz for
Mhm.
the first time, and man, I was blown away by that guy. He's so funny, but man, he's got the hits. And I've been in the round with guys like Tony Arata, and that
That's
was about the most intimidating. That was about the most
I get it.
intimidating.
Yeah.
And like there's a guy's name's Tony Lane. He's one of my heroes. He's written some great songs,
Yeah.
and I'm just such a fan. I'm more starstruck of songwriters really than even artists. So those are usually the places where I'm just like, man, I want to hear how you wrote this song. That's
So
impressive to me.
you've got the song out on the radio, but like I said a few minutes ago, it's the first single coming to radio from Ryan Larkins. But
That's
you've
right.
been a songwriter for gosh knows how many years, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's true. And even that, that takes a while to get that going. And I've
Mhm.
written so
Mhm.
many songs. And then this past year, I got my very first song on the radio as a songwriter, and that was super cool with Cody Johnson, the painter.
Oh my
And
gosh. Yeah.
that's just been wild. That's been a
Mm.
wild ride too. Turning on the radio, just driving down the road, hearing that song, and
And
it's
knowing
it's
that
been
you had a part in it.
that's right. And really that's about my wife. So that's even more special. I have the kids in the back seat, have my wife in the front seat, would be driving around, and
I
it's
had
like,
no idea. How
yes,
cool.
sir. Yes,
How
sir.
cool.
So
And does she
it's
know that you wrote that? Your part of that was about her?
absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
cool.
So it's a special song, and
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I'll play that in my set, and that's fun to watch people singing
Yeah.
along, and
Promise you'll
it's
play that when you come up in the first of the year.
absolutely. I absolutely will. Man, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to
We'll have
to
a good
come up
time.
there.
I promise you it'll be a good time. So you're out on the radio tour. I know my rep is Emily,
Oh
who is
yeah.
leaving us for some other opportunities, but it was kind of crazy riding with her, I would assume.
She is like the most fun person you've ever met. She's
Unbelievable.
all energy all the time, and no, we've had such a blast, and we've been to so many crazy cities together. And she's one of those, like, she captures it all
She
on
does.
video, which
She
is
does.
fun. It's fun, but
Love her to death.
yeah, no,
And,
she's a
and maybe
blast.
what viewers don't realize is that when you go out on these radio tours, per se, so you say hello to the program directors and they get to interview you, they get to play your music, and hopefully they are anyways. You always have somebody that works for the label with you to make sure you go to the right place, the right time. They kind of do your schedule for you. And that's when I talk about Emily, that's pretty much what she does. She works directly for the label, but she gets to go with the artist. So that's cool.
That's right. And she
Yeah,
is so good at what she does. I'm telling you,
absolutely. 100%.
she's awesome.
Gonna miss her. Gonna miss her.
I am too. I am.
If you weren't doing music, writing or singing, if you weren't doing any of that, what do you think you'd be doing?
That's a good question. I mean, what I would love to do is like be a Harlem Globetrotter. I would want to be like a basketball
Well,
star,
you're
which
tall.
I've got that going for me, but I need to work on my shot. But I've been working on it. I've been working on it. That's probably what I would want to. I would want to do something like
Yeah.
sports related. But
So, are you a sports related person? Do you like to go out and shoot hoops? Do you play football? Do you go to the Nashville Sounds?
I'm not as much of a baseball fan. I could be, but I'm
Okay.
more like basketball.
I
Like
get it.
when I get home, I'll get out there with the boys and
Mhm,
and
mhm.
we'll play some basketball, and then when we're in the front yard, like I'm all-time quarterback when we're playing football.
I love it.
And it's funny how a crowd can we're in a little cul-de-sac, and
Oh yeah.
a crowd can form, and like we've got like all the kids in the neighborhood, and we're out there
Love it.
playing. It is a blast, man.
When
It's
you're
so
on the
much fun.
cul-de-sac, you don't have to worry about a lot of traffic. So,
That's right. That's exactly right.
mhm, mhm.
It's
Wow.
fun.
I mean, what a life. So, what are you doing? Talk to me about your holidays a little bit. We're approaching Christmas. I know we're recording this right now, and it's 10 days away from right now. Do you stay home? Do you go to the in-laws? How does all that work for you?
So for Christmas, I always like we'll always pack up and go to my parents' house for Christmas Eve. And so we're there all day, and it's like the best food ever. Like we
Oh,
have everything, and that's always fun. And the kids are so excited about opening the presents Christmas Eve with them.
mm,
And then, Christmas we kind of alternate, but this year it's going to be at my house and for my wife's side of the family. And so that's going to be we don't have a big house, so it's going to be packed to the gills. And sometimes,
all right.
neighbors will come over, and
Yep.
you never know who's going to show up on Christmas Day. So it's going to be a wild
Well,
time.
it's all about family. So, as long as everybody's together and loving each other, and you're not talking politics and religion, everything's good.
There you go. I totally agree. We'll leave that outside.
Exactly. What do what do you drive? Do you have a truck, or you just
That's a good question. I have this. It's not a newer vehicle, but it's like an older Yukon
okay?
XL. You got to have the big. I want it one of these days. I want to get me a truck. I love a good truck, but
King
this
country, baby. It's
that's it. There you go. There you go. I hope that's right.
yeah.
No, I want to do that. But man, for right now, I'm thinking, I'll drive this probably till the wheels fall off, and then it's big enough for everybody. So I kind of like, just packing everybody in there, and we got all the sports stuff in the back, and no, that's my
Oh yeah,
favorite.
that's why you need the Yukon. Totally
That's
get it.
it.
My
That's it.
grandkids play hockey, and when they put the bags in the back, not only do they stink, but
Yeah.
but it just you need a lot of room. So
No, you really do. What do you drive?
I don't laugh at me. Now here's the deal.
Okay.
I love it when you ask when my guests ask questions. I've been a pickup truck guy for a lot of my life.
Okay.
Then I downsized to a Kia Telluride. And
Okay.
I loved no, I'm not done yet. It gets
Okay.
even worse. No, Telluride was probably the best SUV I ever owned. And especially in this area with the snow, you never know what one day is going to bring to another. But now my lease was up with that because I lease my vehicles. Everybody's different, whatever.
Oh, that's
Uh,
great.
and so now I even downsized more, and you're going to laugh at me. I'm driving a Kia Sportage.
Are
But
you really? Okay.
but you know what? I'm loving it.
Man,
I get worried every day. That's because there's this thing going on with Kias and Hondas that they're getting stolen all over the place. So every day
oh no.
yeah, it's been all over the news. It's like,
That's crazy.
just it's crazy stuff. Something about the software and somebody can get in and do whatever they have to do to start your car. And I think the more that we hear about that on the news, I think the more that others want to go out and try that. And
No, I'm
there's always that.
no, that's true. That would have never crossed my mind, but now
It's
I'm
crazy.
curious.
But
That's crazy.
I've had the Dodge Ram, I've had the Silverado, I've had the Ford F-150s, I've had the 250. Oh my God, I've had trucks all my life. And then as I got older and I really didn't need all that, I just kind of, all right, I'm going to downsize a little bit. But if I was in your shoes, damn straight, I'd be driving that Yukon. I'll tell you. Oh,
Sure, sure. The gas guzzler, though, you're smart with the gas. That's probably way better on gas, what you're
Yeah,
driving.
it is. And the payment's a lot lower. But as we get older, that's what we do. So
Love it.
that's what it's all about. So what's coming up this summer? I know I mentioned you're coming to do an acoustic thing for us in January, but are you tied into any of the big tours yet?
That's what's crazy. I'm so thrilled about this. So I'm going on tour with Priscilla Block
Ah,
starting February 7th. And I mean, I cannot wait. It's just going to be a blast. We got about 17 to 20 dates coming up,
dude.
and we're total opposites, but I think it's just going to be the coolest show ever, going out with her. And she's just 100% herself, and
Yes.
I think it's the coolest. I'm such a fan, and I can't wait to spend some time with her and get to
It's a lot
maybe
of fun.
sing a song with her. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. And what a voice.
Oh yeah.
She's proud to be who she is. And she just, when she gets on stage, she owns it. So just saying, you being with her, that's huge, my friend. That's huge.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
No, I'm
only going to
so
lead to other
excited.
things as well, as we just move on. So,
I believe
well,
that.
been chatting with Ryan Larkins here on the Inner Harbor Cast and 92.1 The Wolf. And Ryan took a little time out of his Friday morning to join us from his kitchen. I'm still trying to count all those magnets in the background. And also all the sippy cups on the other side there. Just like
That's right.
what everybody has their own cup.
So what we have, this is pretty crazy. We have a Christmas sweater party tonight, and so these are going to be all the kids. They're going to
I
have
love
these
it.
cups, and yeah, I've already got my sweater ready and everything. I've got a Snoop Dogg sweater, so I'll have to send you a picture, and I'll send you a
Yes.
picture. I'll try to send you a picture of all my magnets,
Oh yeah,
so you'll
that,
have
that's
that.
freaking awesome. Somebody wants to find out more about you. I imagine your website is Ryan Larkins Music, or is it Ryan Larkins? What is it? You tell us.
So it's ryanlarkins.com. That's where you can
It's that
find
easy.
find everything
Okay.
over there. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That easy.
And all the links are there to all your socials and all that good stuff. So
Yes,
Ryan,
sir.
enjoy the holiday. Best to the fam. And thanks for hanging out with us here today on the Inner Harbor Cast. So good to see you. So good to get to know you a little bit because, like I said, got a show coming up in January. I'd have to look at the calendar, but I believe it's the 16th. So,
That sounds right. I think you're right.
yeah.
Man, I can't wait.
Ah,
And it really
absolutely.
was so good. It was so good catching up with you and talking to you. And I hope you have a happy holiday too.
You as well. Ryan, peace out, my friend. Stay there for a second. We're going to log out off. Thank you for watching, everybody. Inner Harbor Waves, by the way, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube page and you will not miss an interview with great artists. For example, Ryan Larkins. What a voice. And yeah, just, the king of country, the king of country. And there he is right there. All right, Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good job, brother.